Okay. I don't know if it's working. I am also not sure if I am loud enough, so speak up if you can hear me. Then I can also know how long the delay is between me talking and all of you hearing it. Very ugly Sonic, because why not? Okay. I should probably open the chat in another window. There we go. Okay. I had a plan how to do this, and then I forgot to write it down. But I will somehow manage to do this. I I have a lot of questions actually. Originally I wanted to just do the whole comic thing first, but now that I have way more questions than I anticipated, I think it is better to whoopsie, go through them now and then do the comic page later, so that if people are coming back to this video after this is already over, then they can just watch the first part, which is me answering questions, and then the other part they can skip if they want to, because I don't know if it's interesting to most people. But I will certainly repeat some stuff later when I do a comic page. So I'm gonna try to see if OBS can. What is this thing? Okay, no, this is. Can you tell I'm new to streaming because okay. Okay, this should work. Okay. Just so you can actually see what's written there, like from the questions. Ooh. By the way, I'm sorry that I'm doing this earlier because it used to be the other way around, but then more people put answers in. Okay, so I'm going to go through all the questions. I'm also going to open this. Okay. I got multiple questions, I think, about how I organize my writing and how I do my script. Like here, whatever. I'm just going to show, like, this is, I hope you can see it. This is the script that I have. Like, ignore this stuff. I can do it. Right. This was just the beginning from the cutscene. So I broke it apart into pages and then a lot of stuff happened. As you can see, it is 93 pages because I have literally the entirety of Thorm in this. It's probably not the smartest thing to do, and you should probably maybe have different documents for different issues, but that's how I do it, just keeping everything in one piece. This is issue 2, I think. I don't know. Yeah, as you can see, I have different colors sometimes. Yeah, like I use blue to emphasize that something is happening over the entire page, so I don't have to mention it again and again. And then it's just I put a star for a new panel and put very scripty, like people saying things, and then there's people doing things. I don't know, it sounds so boring, but I don't know, this is just how I have the easiest time. Another thing is that I try to make sure that it's not strict. Like, I just put in the stars for the panels so I know, okay, now people have talked too much for one panel. I need to move on. And then I see, okay, people have talked a lot, so I should maybe break down the page. Yeah. And I never really put much thought into this. I'm just really breaking it down to the amount of dialogue that is happening. And then later, when I do the thumbnails, I just do whatever I think is best, and then I rewrite the script to fit in the panels that I thought about later in the thumbnails. I can also show something else, because I've had many people ask how to start with the story. Hello, Sonic the Warthog. Where is it? Here. This is my. I'm not going to open this. I'm sure there's spoilers, but what I did first when I started the comic was just opening the Sonic wiki and getting a summary of the game, like the first cutscene, and copied it in here. So I already had stuff that I could base this on. And then I knew about plot points that had to happen. I think someone has asked this actually. Yeah, I usually have a few main plot points that I really vibe with, but I just can't figure out what goes in the middle. I also had a lot of trouble with this in the beginning, but it really helped that I was making basically fan fiction alternate universe stuff, because I already had all the characters and I already had the entire story. Basically, I just had to do it a little differently. So I already knew, okay, they had to do this to get to there, and I just had to change the decorations around the whole action that they're doing. Like, for example, I knew that somehow they had to meet Amy in Spagonia, and at first I even had like this idea of copying one-on-one from the game, that Amy is just mistaking him for Sonic and then being like, oh no, wait, you're not Sonic, even though he is. And I thought this was easy and it was working, and then when I went on, I was like, wait, I can do more. A lot just of learning by doing. Like someone also asked how to develop writing skills. Yeah, here. And a lot of it was just writing them for a long time. like like with everything else that you learn, you have to do it to get better at it. You can't just imagine to do it and then. Okay, are we back? I'm sorry, OBS crashed for some reason. I don't know what's wrong. I think my internet is just not good enough for streams. Um, but it should be working again. I was talking about developing skills. God, I hate ADHD. But yeah. Okay, I saw my thingy move. It should work again. Yeah, just doing stuff. Um, maybe don't start with a huge project like I did, because that's not such a good idea. Um, what I did before Thorm was just smaller comics, like a lot of them, which also helped a lot with finding stuff. I can try to find my old comics again to show them to you, but yeah, a lot of it is just learning by doing. Hi. It's okay. Mm. Um, yeah. Oops. What was the questions? Yeah, like a lot of people just asked how to start writing a story, and that's basically it. Just do it. Take something that already exists, change it a little, or add to it, or whatever. Like going with the small things that you already have that you want to happen is the correct way to go about it, and then you just have to have the confidence in yourself to try and make it work from one point to the other. And if it doesn't work, just start over, do something else. But like, don't be afraid to just try it out and change it later, because a lot of stuff in Thorm I had an entire issue written out, and then later, because I got better at writing, I had like this different idea, also because of comments from people who read the comic. I just had a different idea about how to go with this, and then, for example, Metal Sonic was not originally planned to be in the comic, but because some people talked about him, and I had this different idea for something that could happen because of Metal Sonic, I just thought, hey, let's put him in, and then I changed everything around this idea, and then I just started working around that, and it really helped to make the story more unique, I think. And you should never be afraid to just completely change something, because even though you might like your first idea, it's mostly not the best. So just continuing and building on it and just keeping at it is really important. someone also asked if I hit a major roadblock, and that was I wrote everything up until issue 6, I think, 2 years ago, and then I just couldn't write anymore because I was out of ideas, and then I just let it sit for 2 years, and now I've come back to it actually, and I am suddenly really motivated, and I wrote up to issue 8 now, and I changed a lot of stuff for issue 5 and 6 too, so that it's more fitting to what happened in the previous ones, because it's completely different now. And I think it's a good thing. And yeah, I think it's working. So again, it's just really important to not be afraid to change things later. And regarding the characters' personalities and how to stay in character, I think one important thing is to just keep in mind who they are, and you just kind of role play as them. Like what I do mostly is just trying to get into the feel of the characters and just kind of naturally role playing the situations that happen in the comic, and um, letting it happen, not really caring much about if it makes sense or anything, but afterwards, when I am done with writing it all down, I just go back and check if it makes sense, if there's any holes in the logic, whatever, and then change up stuff to sound more like them, or if anything came up that gave me new ideas, and I will build on that. And like with this is also what helps me make my dialogues feel realistic, is because I basically talk to myself as if I am both of the characters, which progresses the conversation naturally. Another thing was keeping stuff interesting, and I think what's most important is that you think it's interesting, that even if you know everything that happens, you still have fun reading your own comic or writing or whatever. Um, like every time that I open my script, I can't get enough of it because I know what happens and I know it's gonna happen, and I love seeing all the stuff that I put, like my hints and foreshadowing and stuff that I put there that lead up to it. And I think because I have a lot of fun reading my thing, I hope that other people also have a lot of fun reading my thing. Yeah. Um, oh, also the thing about spacing out the story. I can definitely say that in the beginning I did not know how to do this. I don't know if you remember, but in issue 1 there was this one thing where Sonic is in Aptos, and suddenly Tails and Knuckles come along and are like, hey, we're going to Spagonia because I know this guy who might know stuff. And then in the next page, they're suddenly there, and there's this other dude that they don't know, and he's just saying, hey, he was kidnapped by Eggman. And then in the next page, they are suddenly in the Eggman base beating Eggman robots, and there's suddenly Team Dark and stuff, and the professor is already saved, and then suddenly it moves on to just Shadow getting something from the archives or whatever, and Sonic is going after him, and then suddenly it slows down and is kind of in real time again, and then it just is really slow for the rest of the issue. But before that, there's just this small part that was fast paced without any context or whatsoever. It was just me trying to squeeze, oh, I have to show that they are going there and that they do this and that, and it was all the plot points from the original story, like the cutscenes where they go there and they go there. But I forgot that in my comic, the whole levels that are basically playable cutscenes are not in there. Like, I didn't have all the day Sonic levels of him running to wherever place, and the Tails tornado mission also I didn't put into the comic, because how do I put a boss battle like that in a comic? Yeah. But now I think I got better at it. I hope that people aren't just suddenly going anywhere, but that it's just a natural progression of stuff. Like, we follow the characters naturally. I don't really know how to do it. Like, I can't explain how, but I think just doing it often helps to get a feel for what is too fast and what is too slow. Um, like I said, I did many small comics before that, which helped me get good at the slow part. But if it's a bigger project, and it will be harder to get the timing right, because it's just so much stuff that's happening, which is why I say starting small is maybe a better idea. But yeah, um, just doing some stuff, and then you get a feel. Another thing that would help is, of course, just reading comics and seeing how other people do it. Um, Mostly making sure to look at how people do time skip stuff, like when it's skipping a day or something. Everyone does it differently, and um, you can just look at what feels best for you personally. Um, also scripting action. Um, I think I mentioned it. Where did it go? Yeah. Um, I don't know where action is. Yeah, wait. Here is like the fight of Sonic and Eggman in Masuri. Um, it's just like my other scripts. It's just a star to indicate it's a panel, and then if someone speaks, I put them in front and they speak, and then I put sentences there to say, hey, they're doing that. And sometimes I just leave it blank so I can just decide what they're doing while I'm doing the drawings, because a lot of deciding what's actually happening is going on in my thumbnailing phase, because then I know, okay, this works with the layout and this doesn't. I will show a bunch of thumbnails in a minute, so you can see, because that's the next thing, because I think I got all of the questions here. Oh wait, with Sonic and Shadow. Yeah, I it's just the same as with other characters. It's just I think about what would they do, like what is their characteristics, their personality, how would they act. and then just try to naturally act it out on the paper. um, oh, I somehow missed this. Yeah, I script in English, as you can see. Yeah, but I think this is all the writing stuff. Um, gonna find stuff, not issue 5, but okay. Where is it? Here's some thumbnails that I did for issue 3. This is the moment when Sonic sees Metal Sonic and Amy fight, and he's like, oh, I have to reach her, and then he's just reaching out, and suddenly he's made of rubber. Yeah. As you can see, it's just mostly really silly drawings. I even do these way too detailed. You can go even less detailed with your thumbnails. I just kind of need this because when I'm in the moment, I have like ideas and I want to scribble them out so I don't forget. But yeah, I don't know. This is my thumbnails. I can show different ones also here. I have this book that I do them all in. I can link it in the description later if you want. Yeah, but it's just really stupid doodles with like comments on the side. I think this is very good with the comments. Like I don't know. I can't show glitching with a pencil drawing that's really fucking small. So I just put a arrow there that says glitching. Or like here I didn't really like this, but I had an idea how it could look better, so I made a note. Hey, it could be better if it's smaller and full body. Or here the stick figure that shows how the pose should work because obviously it didn't work in here. And here like a note that says what's happening here because you can't really see it. And again here like I tried something, it didn't work, so I made a note, hey, if you revise this, make it smaller, or like here that I wanted the focus to be on Amy's face, so I blurred out shadow later. Stuff like this. I don't know if it's helping to just show it, but yeah. I also, it's very important to put in speech bubbles when you do the thumbnails, so you have an idea how much of the page is covered in like speech. And another thing that's very important, I think, is that you finish writing the, like, if you want to do a thing with multiple issues, that you write the entire issue and maybe also the entire next issue before even starting to do any thumbnails. Because what is one of my biggest problems is giving up, because I give up so easily. I would not have been able to pull off Thorm if I didn't do it in this exact way that I do it. I write very, very far in advance before even starting to do any art. Like even concept art I don't really do unless I already finished writing everything. To make sure that I have it written, because writing is the hardest part for me, because putting my thoughts down as words is hard, as you can tell, because I'm terrible at talking to all of you right now. But like, it's important that I have the words before I do the art, because one time I did a comic where I was like, hey, I'm just going to draw whatever comes to mind and let it develop naturally. But it didn't work because I was just making shit up as I go. And then at some point, I will hit a roadblock and then I'll be like, ugh, I don't know what else to do because the stuff I did before leading up to this sucks. And fixing it is a waste of time because I already did all the work for what came before that is now trash. So I gave up. And I think a lot of people probably also start out this way, that they think, I'm so excited about this. This is the best thing ever. I'm going to work on this. And then they just work page per page and they make pages and are proud of it and they can show it off. But then they end up at a point where they don't have any ideas left. And then there's no other thing to do than stop, because there's no point anymore. Which is why I think it's super important to plan ahead and write everything down and then work on the art. Even if you already have something written down, you can still change it later if you have new ideas. But links hin, danke. But when you later do the art for it and you have new ideas and you change it, then you still have all this reference material that you already wrote that you can just change up a little to fit what you have changed before. But no one will know because you just keep pumping out good quality stuff. Oh yeah, someone asked what my favorite page is, and it's this. the one where he's looking at his reflection in the puddle. I'm gonna go back here. Yeah, exactly. That's how I plan out my pages. I just don't plan. Ja, also oh yeah, definitely. I should call this stream comic advice for people with ADHD, because all my advice is basically like because of ADHD that I need to do it this way or else it doesn't work. Like, of course, everyone is different, but I think because a lot of people with ADHD have problems with doing stuff on impulse and relying on hyperfixations, it's just really, really, really hard. Okay. I keep losing track of where I am. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Knowing how they look like later, as said, I just put notes to the side, and if it's just, I don't know, I have notes in my script about what is in the background or where they are, and then if I don't draw it here, then I will have notes on the side or in the script. and most of the time I just do very bad background art in my thumbnails. Another thing that was asked was the camera angles, and I think that's just something that happens when I draw. Like I have I need to get to issue. Yeah, exactly. Here. This is like a very common rule in comics where you start out with one big thing called an establishing shot, where you show the location, like where this is happening. So you see, this is a park. There's a wall. There's the road. There's plants, whatever, and you see Sonic going this way because of the shadow of the tree, whatever, and then you see him contextually because you saw how this is, and then you see it here again, that he is now here. And then this happens. And then you see, okay, the camera drifts over to this side of the wall, like here, what we couldn't see before. And this is the way they're going. And then you see, oh, here's a bridge. So, oh, I didn't include it here. Okay. Good to know. I thought I had a page. I guess it was in the original script and I didn't include it. This is again really bad pacing where stuff is happening and suddenly Sonic is there, no context. Originally, I planned for him to go over this bridge, but I guess I didn't do it. Yay, don't do this. Don't do weird pacing where you don't know why this person is suddenly there. But yeah, I hope this helped with um the camera stuff. I can show you another example of it if I find it. Not an issue free. Okay, here it's happening again. They're just going here, and I reuse, by the way, just copy paste stuff. If you're proud of a background, copy paste it as much as you can. I used this exact image of the town like 5 times. But yeah, you have the establishing shot, and then you see, oh, Sonic is here, so we're moving the camera towards this dude in his shop, and then they're paying, so we have to move the camera to the view of this dude because he's the one being paid. And then we have seen here that there is a bench and a table, so they're going there now. And then I often do this thing where I show the perspective of a character that is like important. Like Sonic is important because this is a Sonic comic, but like um, because this whole thing is going to be from the perspective of Sonic, who is like wondering about Shadow and their relationship and what is happening right now. So yeah, it's just a lot of Sonic's perspective, and here I kept it very broad, but like I said, this is like so. Yeah, this is Sonic's perspective. Shadow is leaving, and then there's Chip in the foreground, but what he's really looking at is what's happening back there. And I hope that if you look at this as a reader, you also are like, oh, what's happening back there? And then he's thinking about himself, so I go back to showing his face to show his expression, how he's feeling. Um, and then like Chip eating all the stuff brought him back into like just generally the area, and then Shadow is done, so he's coming back, and the people are happy to have talked to him because he's cool, and there's random people out there who are like, oh my god, is this Sonic and Shadow? That's so cool. And yeah, then here and here, I don't know, I just did this mainly to spice it up, to have more variety in the panels. But yeah, then I don't know if yeah, you weren't really able to see it, but it's this bit here that you go up, and then we're here. But I hope this was helpful in finding out how to work camera. Another thing I can just say is it has a lot to do with style, because some comic book artists just do the thing where they show faces all the time, and it works because they make it work. It just has a lot to do with what you want to do. So you just go on and read your comics and steal compositions and ideas from other people because you think it's cool. um, yeah. Um, Layout and stuff I will cover later when I do an actual comic page, but my thumb rule for shapes and stuff is if there's something happening, then you can make the panels reflect what's happening. I'm gonna try to find an example of this. Here I have this panel that's going like way down to the left side because Sonic is sprinting that way. Also, I have here a line that's like aligned with the water to like make it more interesting. Also, I have a lot of overlapping stuff here because I should have made shadow overlap this probably. But yeah, whatever. He's stuff. I forgot my train of thought. Anyways, yeah, Sonic is over the panel of shadow because he's like, all right, and this is like his most active panel, except for the one that's down here. But like the way that you read this page is not done so well from me. Like you read it like this. Can I have the like you read this page like this, but I don't know, if I was reading the comic without knowing what's happening, I would be confused and read it like this and ignore this. Which is obviously not right, but this is something to keep in mind when overlapping panels, that a panel that follows after another should not be below the other panel, because then you're prone to ignore it, because here this is clear that it's going here, but from this panel on, this is overlapping this, so you look here first instead of here, even though here is the next panel after this. I'm just showing you all my faults. But I think there was another one that had like, here, the panel form is directly from Amy's action. It's like kind of like an arrow showing the direction in which she's running, because she's bursting through the hole, running into the hallway because she's trying to reach Rouge fast. And I put these spike thingies on the panels with Rouge to show that she's like in an communication, whatever thing, so that Amy can't actually see her, but we can because we are cool. And here I also used the panel as the hole in the wall, and here I used the panel as the hole of the air vent where Amy is going through. You can do a whole lot with panels. This is just an entire page. Yeah. I don't know, I hope this helps. I don't really understand this question, but I hope that what I was talking about earlier was helping. I will certainly talk about it again when I do the actual thumbnails later, but yeah, this should have been helpful, I hope. Okay, art stuff. How long it takes to draw a page really depends, because sometimes there's pages with no backgrounds or easy backgrounds, stuff that I'm comfortable with, then it doesn't really take long. Like, for example, this page didn't really take long because it was just grass and some random shapes in the background. So I can't say for sure how long it took, but like looking at it, I think it took maybe 2 hours, maybe. But then there's pages like, oh no, this is the wrong thing, whatever. Look at my horrible layers. This page took me so long because I am not used to drawing cities. And I overdid it with the details. I will never draw this building again. But yeah, this one took me like 3 days or something. Pro tip from me, don't overdo it with details, because no one will be able to zoom in far enough to see XYZ person standing in the whatever way. Another thing that takes me a long time is just stuff that's interior, like inside a house, or most of all inside of one of Eggman's labs, because Eggman is like kind of sci-fi but also not, but it's very hard to do. Yeah. My favorite backgrounds is nature. I'm good at nature, I think. I would like to say that I'm good at it. yeah, it's just so fun to do stuff with grass and trees and stuff. Right now we're in Shamar, so I'm doing a lot of stuff with stones and sand, and there's not so much vegetation. But I'm learning that it's actually pretty fun to do rocks because I think somewhere in issue 4 I just clicked and then I was like, wow, I'm the rock master because I figured out the rocks with the lasso tool. um, and something that I have a lot of trouble with, which I improved in, was actually cities, like not inside houses. I'm still horrible at it, but like the facades of houses, I'm way better at, and I'm better at making streets look okay. Um, you will see now in issue 5 there is, Shamar has like huge marketplaces and um like small alleys and stuff, and I think I did a really good job with that. And now it's kind of fun also because I learned how to use Blender in school, so I just use it to make 3D models to help me with perspective and shit. um how I draw Sonic in my style is I just draw him. That's how I draw him. um you learn to draw in a style by just drawing. I don't know how else to say it. um Developing style is non-existent. I don't know. Like, you just draw, and the way you draw is automatically your style, and you can just pick up whatever you like from somewhere else and try it out and then make it your own because you like it. You can draw however you like, whenever you like. Depending on the day, I draw Sonic characters differently just because I feel like it. And somehow people still see it all as one style, even though I know it's very different every day. Because I have just some stuff that I like doing that I do in every picture. I think my main um, recognizable point is that I use um, very often the same colors, and I love to shade with purple. I just use purple multiply on everything. But apart from that, I just do stuff differently very often. Um, oh yeah, foreshortening. I can show that. Something that I learned a few years ago was that when you have um, there's a person and they're standing there and they have like an arm that's going here, and you want that they are pointing forwards, like, I don't know, here. You have to keep in mind the proportions, like the hand is as big as the face, so when it goes here it should be like the size of the head, and then you go like this is tubes, and you do the tubes that go forward are bigger, so tubes. Another thing, like, also this is the same throughout the entire, like, the rotation of the arm. Um, Another thing to do is when I draw people sitting is like, let's assume this person is sitting. Like, I know, okay, the legs start here, and we know that they are cylinders, and cylinders are like you can do this, and then you have a cylinder, and you can also do this with legs. Like limbs are just cylinders that have little bumps on them because muscles. So you can do this coil thing and go a little bigger because there's muscle. And then you have like the upper leg. And then you do this here again. And you just build it up in 3D, kind of. Because it's a coil. And you don't really see anymore anything below that. But you know, okay, this is the silhouette of a leg and it looks correct. And then you have a knee here, and then you go down, and the same here. And then you can just fix it up a little. And then this person is sitting there doing weird stuff with their arms. And now I've done a lot of figure drawings, and I've just started using references. So I don't really need the coiling anymore. I can just do the shape and then sculpt it out from there, basically. Like mostly what I will do is just do this for a body, and I know, okay, here is the hip thing and there's the legs. I will just use a really big brush to make the shape of the legs, and then use a smaller brush to actually make it look correct. But yeah, a lot of it is figure drawing and learning anatomy, because that helps with getting stuff only with shapes. Because even if this is correct, not correct perspective, like this is might be wrong, but it looks right because the shapes are right, if that makes sense. Okay. Floofy Werehog is floofy. Next question. No, I don't know. You just draw a lot of fur. There is different ways to do it depending on what kind of style you're going for. So just learn how to do the fur. There's fur brushes for when you want to be more realistic. There's the easiest method is just to do zigzags. That's what I do. Zigzags that are like bendy. It's how I like it. I've already talked about this, but like finding your drawing style is a constant. It never stops. You never have like this moment in your life where you're like, oh yes, I have an art style. This is my art style. I will draw like this forever. No, you will never draw the same. Every single day you draw differently. Ever, it will change every day because you always have ideas what to do differently. And this is good because once you're at a point where you don't want to change anything, you will stagnate and you will get bad at art because you don't see the room for improvement anymore. But the truth is, there's always room for improvement. And people who like think they have their style that's unchangeable and perfect are people like Butch Hartass, who just lost it and can't draw well anymore. I don't know. Oh no, the stream is doing weird stuff again. OBS, don't fail me. Everyone, please say when you can't hear me anymore or anything is not working, because otherwise I would just keep talking. Oh yeah, I use for line art, I use this brush in a 10. It's a brush that I got from my teacher, but I can't show it, give it to anyone because it was in a huge pack, and it's just one file with like 100 brushes, and I can't send that to anyone because it's just too much, and I don't know where he got it from. So that's it. I will link a brush that's very similar that I used to use before I used the new one from my teacher. Actually, it is even a little better, I think, but it's just finer. And it doesn't work with what I wanted to do with the comic anymore, so whatever. I just really like both brushes. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, joyful songbird, where did you go? Oh yeah, I've talked about learning by doing, how to do things that you need to learn. What's important is to keep in mind why you're doing this. Like, I refuse to practice a lot. I will never practice unless I hit a wall and I'm like, I'm so bad, I need to practice, or else something bad happens. I don't know, but I will just feel miserable, and I will practice like a maniac to get good, just so I feel a little sense of accomplishment. Um, but yeah, keeping in mind why you're doing it is helpful. Another thing is just combining practice with something that you like. Um, Something I do, which isn't working for everyone, but for me it works, is like applying to zines to have the pressure of the challenge. Like, you're in this group of people who are all making art for a book, and it has to be good. And you have this pressure and this challenge to do something good that can measure up to the other people that are in the project. And then you will be like, I can't just do something simple because I would be betraying everyone else. So I'm going to do something challenging, and I'm going to do something that's gonna be epic. And then I have to do it because I promised. And sometimes it doesn't work out right, but I have this pressure to keep going. So I keep starting over and fixing stuff until I'm happy with it. And then I have something I can be proud of because I was challenged to do it. Unlike when you're like, ugh, I need to practice this and then do like 5 sketches of it. So I have done it, and then you did it with zero motivation or conviction, and then you forgot it all again because you didn't have fun doing it. Also, coloring with each issue is really hard to estimate because, like, I work on a single issue for several months and I do page by page. Yes, exactly. Combining what you like with what you have to learn. But yeah, I do page by page. Like, I will explain it later again. But basically, how I do form is I write very far in advance, and then I do one issue at a time. Like, right now I'm working on issue 5, and I've already done the thumbnails for all the pages in issue 5 in August, and I started doing line art for pages in September, and I just do line art for one page, and then sometimes when I'm in the mood, I also do the line arts for more pages, but usually I work on like 1, 2, or maybe 3 pages at a time. And then I just do the line arts, and sometimes I feel like doing colors, so I will take the most recent page and do the colors there. And sometimes I'm just feeling like doing roughs, so I take future pages and do the roughs for them. And I just do whatever I feel like and try to only do the pages that need to be done instead of like going anywhere else and going ahead of myself too much. So I can never really say how long it takes. It just takes as long as it takes. Oh god, this is long. I'm usually if the background color is blending in, you're probably not using the normal mode, but instead something like multiply where the background color blends in. You need to make sure that the layer is always on normal. Because otherwise the colors from behind bleed through. But if you mean that you have, for example, you make, let's say you have like a forest. With a lot of green tones. And then you want to have a Sonic standing in there somewhere. Then if you use, wait, I'm gonna use the Sega Sonic color. Like this is the official color for Sonic. I will do it in another, like this. He has horrible blue arms. I will change it. And his shoes. If the colors that surround the thing bleed into this, that's actually pretty good. Like, because right now he doesn't really look like he's standing in there. He's just standing, like, he doesn't really belong there. But if we use green color a little, then he's actually standing in the forest, because the way light works is that it bounces onto objects and then bounces off of them, which creates the information of the color of the object. So then when sun rays come down from the sky, let's put the sun here. We're doing it all. This is physics class now. So if the sun is going here, it will bounce off and go here on Sonic. And then it will also bounce off of him. So what happens is that the green information hits Sonic. So then when it bounces off of him again, it mixes with his blue. So it's green-blue. So his color changes a little, but only a little bit. At least if you want to do like realistic art. Otherwise, I would say just make matching color palettes. Because I don't really understand what else this could mean. Either you use the wrong layer mode, or you're confusing digital art stuff with color theory, because that's a thing that happens. Because I know it's hard to pick colors in digital art if you are more used to using, for example, watercolors, because in watercolors you like mix it very visually. Meanwhile, in digital art, you just click here and you have a color, and you don't really know how it looks in comparison to the rest unless you put it on there. But I think that's a lot of the process, just putting the color on there and seeing if it works, and if it doesn't, then just change it. Yeah, but that's all the art questions, I think. So we can move on. Yay. Take your notes. You can all try to think of a little plot for the comic that we're doing later, because we're gonna do it at some point when I'm done with this. But yeah, I've already talked about staying motivated. Like, the most important thing for me to keep going is, one, just having the stuff that I plan ahead, the writing, making sure that I don't overwork myself, making sure I take stuff one step at a time, only doing one issue, and making sure it's done before I even think about working on the next thing. And also with the pages, doing one page at a time, or like not more than 3, so that I always have finished products and I can slowly see the pile of unfinished pages get smaller and smaller. So I feel better about, hey, I'm making progress, I'm accomplishing things, this is worth it, this is worth all the work that I put into it, because there are results, and the results are immediate, because whenever I save a page, even if it's work in progress, it has some colors. There are pages ahead that already are lined or have roughs on them. So I'm like, yes, there is progress. Every time I open my folder, there is something new that has been done last time I opened it, which is very important for me as a person with ADHD, because we have trouble when there are no immediate results. So I really have to make sure there are results every time I look at stuff. And the second part that motivates me is just all of the readers of the comic, like people like you who are now here hearing my voice. Like, I would probably not be able to motivate myself to do it as fast as I am right now if I didn't have people telling me I'm doing a good job. Even if I wasn't doing a good job, you still go and tell me, hey, you did a good job. um, yeah, it's just really important that I get the feedback from everyone, um, which is also something that I would encourage anyone to do. Like, if you plan on a project, then it's best to share it with people while you're doing it instead of um, keeping it for yourself until it's done. Because if you never share it until it's done, it is probably not going to get done because you never get any feedback on it. And personally, I just need the hype. Like, I am hyped about what I do and I want people to see it. And if I wouldn't do it, if I wouldn't show people, hey, I'm doing this with every single page, then I don't think I would be able to do it. Like, if I would just do the entire issue before posting it, and then I'm just posting the entire issue at a time, like how comics release normally, I don't think I would be able to do it because I need the immediate feedback of people reading this to be able to have the motivation to do the next page, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, like I'm sure a lot of people with ADHD can relate to that, and I think this is just the best way to do it for me, which is why I'm probably gonna stay a webcomic artist because it's just the most rewarding thing for my brain. But yeah, color theory is sure a thing. Um, oh yeah, expressions. Expressions are one of the most fun things to do for me. Like what helps me is just to do the expression while I'm drawing it so I can feel how it is on my face. Like, for example, if I will do a person that's grinning, I will just start grinning to feel how it squishes the corners of my mouth. So I know, okay, this is a very strong feel on the right side. So I will do a line there for the cheek. Because if I didn't have that strong feel, I wouldn't feel the need to put a line there because why? But if there is a line, then it just shows like I will draw it. Um, if you have like two faces and they are both grinning, like this is a different grin from this. And I think this feeling that I have when I do this grin with my own mouth helps me to understand which of the both it is. And another thing with expressions is that you shouldn't be afraid to exaggerate them. Like if you just have a person like this grinning, that's fine. But you can push it and make the eyebrows like this. So this is the evil grin. I don't know. Also, like for Sonic characters specifically, I think what's most important is the eyes, because you can do so much with them. Sonic, just you can do the shadow, or you can do they're just suddenly this thing can move so much. Like here, it's just up here suddenly, and then you can even add creases here because they have those weird tube eyebrows that I don't always draw because it's weird. But yeah, like you can move it up, and then it's worried. Like you, in humans, there's this region here where it's like the eyebrows are moving in here, and it's just either up there or down here. And that's the same for Sonic characters. It's just down here or up here. And you can move it around a lot and try to work with it. Also with like having one eye half closed or something. Or having both half closed. He's annoyed because he doesn't have a nose. Also, what's very important with expressions is that you don't always just have to think with the face, but with the entire body. Like, let's take this face of Sonic. Put it next to each other like this. And then like he looks confused, but we don't really know exactly what he's thinking. But if we do it like this, we can tell what, like, we can't tell exactly what he's thinking, but we have an idea what's going on now. Like, he's like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Whereas here, we're just, oh, he's standing. Like, even if this was like a comic panel, like this, in the same box, we have different kinds of information. Like, we can't see his hands here, and his ears are not really showing much of what is going on. Even if his ears were down, this could mean a lot of things. We are not sure, but here he has his hands up, like, I don't know, why are you asking me? I hope this helps. But like, yeah, generally when doing expressions, just do the expression yourself. Always try to feel everything the people do in your own body. The best thing is if you always act out everything you draw, because then you will know if a pose is even possible in the first place. For me, it comes naturally because I have aphantasia and I cannot see images in my head. So I have to rely on doing everything myself and basically feeling it in my bones, because that's the only thing that I have in my head. The memory of how it feels to do something. Like, if I try to imagine a pose in my head, I don't see any images or anything. I just feel the memory of the movement of my hand that it does when it does this pose, and how it strains in certain areas and stuff. Like, this is what helps me figure out how to do poses and expressions and everything, like just doing it. Okay. Yeah, I already talked about this starting comics. Like, just take something you like and add to it, and only do a small thing. I can look for older small comics that I did to show what I mean. But where is it? I feel like the thing is too old. Yeah, I can't find it right now. But like, just small stuff first before doing anything really big. Is there anything in 2020? Oh, another thing that can help is redrawing pages that already exist that you liked. Like, I did a redraw of a page from the IDW. Here, this thing. I changed it a little because of how I would have preferred if this was going to happen. Sorry if I spoiled anyone who didn't read it yet. But just copying pages that you liked works. I know I did small comics, but why can't I find them? I don't know. Ugh. I love this. Okay, yeah. This was a thing that I did. It's just super small and silly, but like, the paneling isn't really good and whatever, but it's just practice for making images that follow after one another. Um, I used to do a different webcomic. I can. It's a failed project that I gave up because I did it the wrong way, as explained. Like, I did it by doing every page. And then making the story up as I go, like this thing. But it was good practice because I did something, even if it's a failure and I gave it up. I tried something. Like, after this one, I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing full color anymore, and I just did the sketches. And I kind of got better at doing this webtoon style comic that you read from the top to the bottom. But sometimes I also just make random stuff like this. Like, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels. Or this thing about Infinite. where I just had this idea that I wanted to write down, but I have trouble with words. So I wrote down the words and drew a little doodle next to it to visualize that, because I can't visualize in my head, so I had to draw it down. But yeah, just small stuff. You don't even have to do lions and whatever. You just do practice. Is coming along and wants to bake the cookies faster. Like, it's just rectangles that are following, but it's like images that are a sequence, which is what comics essentially are: sequential art. Just a drawing of a place, a time, with people in it, maybe. It doesn't even have to be people. It's just a place and a time. And the next drawing is the same place at a different time because something happened. Or it's a different place in the same time, or whatever. But like, it's a sequence that tries to tell a story. It can even just be two pictures. If you are not super strict about it, it could even just be one picture. But who wants a one picture comic? Yeah, also this is just rectangles. But like, you can see he's coming up the stairs, and then he's opening a door, and you can see the same pillar from here back here. So yeah, you can see he moved forward. He's opening a door. Then you see his perspective. He's going in. You see there's light, so he's going where the light is. You can see from context here, this is the same wall, there's light, and then there's Infinite stealing snacks. I also did one of the uh, Sonic Force, and not one of the comics because it's just a fan thing. But like, I did this comic. I did it completely on paper except for the text and the colors. Um, I don't know if I still have the sketches for it somewhere on my computer, but I can look. Like, I just wasn't happy with the backstory for what Shadow did to Infinite's squad. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I will make my own comic to show what I think happened. And that's what I did here. It's not the best, but it's practice that I had, that I needed to do before I could do Thorm. Because I think this was 4 years ago. Yeah, it was before Thorm. But it was good practice because now I know what stuff I don't want to do in Thorm. Like here, I did it in Thorm anyways, but now I'm getting better at it. But like, even here, I was so obsessed with making extremely detailed backgrounds. Like, even here, like the small jackals here in the background all have distinct character designs and whatever. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, why did I do this? They are just blobs in the background. You can't see anything. And here I also always did like elaborate backgrounds, and here, even though you can't really see them or they're even distracting, like here, sometimes I use gradients, which was good. I should do it more often. But yeah, using gradients is great, but maybe use colors that are actually in the backgrounds. Except if it's an attack, then it can be a flashy color. But yeah, it's just a comic I did. And if you want to start making comics, you just should also do a thing. Like the rule for a small mini comic is usually around 8 pages. And what an old teacher of me in high school, who really liked comics, he encouraged me to pursue that. He taught me about how to fold a piece of paper so it's exactly 8 small, like it he folded the piece of paper into 4 parts, but then when you cut it out you have like 4 pages, and if you use the front and back it's 8 pages. So if you glue them together on one side, or you like use a staple, which is the better option, then you have a little comic book, and then you just have to draw the pages. Like the first page is the cover of the comic, and then there are 7 pages in there that you can fill with whatever you like, and then you have your own little comic book in your hands. And this experience was really helpful for me to be able to know, hey, if I do it like this, I can have a book in my hands. I don't even have to worry about printing it or whatever. It's just a little book that I have for myself. I can show it to like my classmates or whatever. And it's great. Everyone loved it. It was shitty as hell, but like it's what you do in 8th grade. But yeah, I hope my weird stories help. um, I do speak English, German. I can understand French. My native language is actually Spanish, but I don't speak it that well anymore. But I can still very much understand it, and I'm trying to learn more languages, but it's hard. It's really hard. But I'm trying. But yeah, if you ever want to comment on my stuff, you can do so in English, German, Spanish, or French if you want. I will just answer very butchered when I answer in French or Spanish. Yeah, I already answered this, but my favorite moment in Form is this one thing that I had planned since the very beginning. Like one of the very first moments that I knew had to happen in the comic were this: the page where Sonic sees himself as the Werehog for the first time since it happened. Because he never saw himself. He didn't know what he looked like. He just saw his hands, and they were ugly, and he didn't like it. And this was the first time he saw himself and what had become of him, and how this was affecting him. Like, he's showing his teeth to himself to look at them, like they could also just be in his mouth, but he has his mouth a little open to look at the teeth, to like just look at what happened to him. Because yeah, I don't know. And then him stepping into his reflection as a sign of rejection, like he's rejecting his reflection. He doesn't like what he sees, and he refuses to acknowledge it. And then he just shuts Shadow up. He doesn't want any more preaching. He just wants to go home and sleep. I don't know if you read it that way, but that's the way it's intended. He's rejecting his reflection. He's rejecting what's happening to him. He doesn't want to acknowledge it, shuts Shadow up, and goes home. Also, yes, there are a lot of elements that I am looking forward to so bad. There is stuff in Empire City that's going to be awesome. There is a lot of stuff going on, like in the end, like the fight against Dark Gaia. I have done sketches of Dark Gaia in preparation for this, even already, which is kind of bad, but I just love um, the design of Dark Gaia, and I can't wait to draw it in motion, like not really in motion, but like attacking and doing stuff and maybe even talking to the characters. I don't know that yet. I'm not that far ahead in the script. But yeah, I'm just really excited for Dark Gaia. And I'm also excited for the Egg Dragoon because it's one of my favorite boss battles as the Werehog. It's just such a cool Eggman robot, and I can't wait to try to draw it. And there's also stuff happening. Like, I don't know, I'm just hype about all the continents that are still missing. Like, we are halfway through the comic now with issue 5. This is the halfway point. There will be 10 issues probably. I'm currently on issue 8, and we're getting close to the climax, which will be issue 9 and 10, probably. I hope. I hope I don't get any new ideas. But yeah. And this is going to be one epic fight. Okay, oh, you are welcome, person who asked this. I'm glad that I could uh inspire you to improve and do things. It's really ironic because most of the beginning of Thorm is just me trying really, really, really hard to not go out of my comfort zone. And whenever I hit the uncomfortable zone, I just try to rush through it. I think one of the pages where it's very obvious I did not have a good time was the one page in issue 1. Yeah, like you can see I'm having fun. This is Angel Island. Stuff is happening. I'm overusing this leaf brush that I had. And I don't know, it looks like I put effort into it. And then the next page is this. And I'm like, wow, this jump in quality. It's an indoor scene, so I refuse to draw furniture and stuff. And you just see how I'm trying really hard to avoid doing any backgrounds by using, like, I used a background that I drew really half-assedly, and then here's black gradient, a copy paste from the first page, and then just some action lines. Like you can see, I was not comfortable with the situation because this page was the one before that. And then the page after is like, yeah, this was easy for me and I had fun with it, and this was easier than the kitchen because I don't know how to do the kitchen. And then we're back outside and the colors look much better and the backgrounds are better. And here I tried to make it like Knuckles' imagination, but I don't know if it came across that way. But yeah, like you can see the colors are better here, and just you see that this is my comfort zone. But yeah, now I'm pushing out of it, but I can't show because it's spoilers. um Other books of you that I like the most. Stuff that I like that I recently drew, I can't show because it's for projects that I can't show because it's for zines or it's spoilers for Thorm. But yeah. Um Tips for people who want to write a comic. I already gave a lot of tips for comic writing, but I can just talk about more stuff later. And do I study something? Yes, I study game art, specifically, which also incorporates 3D stuff, which is um, what primarily helps me with the comic and with my overall skills, because I have a lot of trouble with perspective because I can't really visualize this. And the 3D stuff just helps me a lot with it. Yeah, you don't have to throw out your money to learn Blender because Blender is free and there's a lot of tutorials on Blender online. But if you are horrible at discipline and you can't teach yourself stuff, I recommend looking for the cheapest school that can teach you that, or like signing up on a online course. Like there's probably a class 101 or Skillshare or whatever. Like there's a lot of websites that offer courses and different stuff where you can learn how to do certain things, where it's like mentored, like you have a, in quotation marks, teacher that you can ask stuff. But yeah, just learning stuff. um, Thank you to this person also. Peace emoji back. I am really flattered that my comic was the first thing that you saw when you came into Sonic, because I just have this idea in my head that yeah, the biggest Sonic stuff is Ghosts of the Future or The Murder of Me, and I'm just somewhere on the sidelines. But apparently, a lot of people see my comic on the same page as the comics that I kind of also grew up with. So I'm like, wow, I'm one of the things that people are growing up with now, I guess. Which also puts me in the spot to deliver something good to all of you, which motivates me to keep going. Um, okay, here's a question for art. Body structure. Okay, something to help you with proportions. Like, first of all, you need to do a lot of figure drawings. You need to learn the anatomy. Like, you don't need to do textbook anatomy studies, but what you need to do is doing a lot of gesture drawings. Drawing with reference and trying to not draw from imagination a lot, because what you do when you draw from imagination is you most people have a mental image of what they want to do and then they will do it, and they will forget to take technical stuff into account. I don't have that problem as much because when I think about stuff, I always have the technical aspects in mind because I just think very technical. But yeah, if you have trouble, like for example, if you have this is the person and you have one knee down here and one knee up here, and you have this person is like they're like juggling, and then it kind of looks proportionate, but it's not, because the knee, like here, the knee is far too way down, and this one is longer than this. When you're in this phase, before you start putting any detail on anything, in this phase, you need to see, okay, does anything look wrong? Always use your hands. Like I use my fingers to measure, okay, this needs to be the same length as this. And because I know this in my head, I already did it correctly. But then another rule is that the knee is in the middle of these two. So again, because I have these rules in my head, I subconsciously already did it correct. But like here, you can see, oh, this knee is way too far down. So you need to correct it like this. And then, oh, I should have used a new layer. And then it will look better. And here also, I did it correctly here again, because of course. But if you have like, I'm going to move it up a little, so. Like, for example, if you have a way too long body because you just forgot or whatever, then you need to remember, okay, so this is the legs, so the body needs to be the same, like including the head. And then the head is 1/3 of that. So this is the head. And then there's the neck and shoulders. And in the other third is the chest region. Like here's the ribs. And the belly button is in the middle of this. Sometimes lower. It depends on the person, but it's mostly here. And then you have arms that come off here. And the thing with arms is a lot of people have trouble with shoulders. Like this is the shoulder, there's a neck. And then people don't know how to attach the arm. Like sometimes it's just like this, which is wrong, because when you put your arm to your body, it doesn't do this. Like there is no gap here. It's at your body. Your arm comes out of your body like this. It is in here. There's, like, you should imagine there's this knob here where it's attached inside. And that's why it comes outside of your body like this. And then when you move it like this, there's no gap here in the, I forgot what it's called, the region between your arm and your body. And also, a rule about arms is that if you have an arm here and an arm here, this is roughly the same as this. It sounds crazy, but it's true. And when you move the arm down, okay, then it will go like this, like this. The two arm pieces here are the same size, and then there's a hand that's the size of the face. I think I did something wrong here, but whatever. Arms are a little too long. Yeah. Boom. Wait, this person should be juggling. So if this person is juggling, they have their arms. They should be in the same height, like the elbows. They are in the same plane. And then they don't have to be in the same plane because this one is angled lower than this one. This one is more up. This one is more low. But you should just always keep in mind that they are the same length, like this and this. And then you also have to keep in mind foreshortening and stuff. But that's why you should use a reference and not draw from your head, like when you're just starting out. Because if you're trying to learn and practice, you should always practice from something that's correct instead of practicing by drawing something that's wrong and then trying to fix it, because it will take forever and it will never look right, because you can't fix something if you don't know how it looks when it's correct. I hope that helps. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. This will be fun to go back to and make timestamps for the video, but whatever. Okay, now we can start. Oh, this took 2 hours. Okay, now we can start making a comic page. I don't know if any of you have a short plot in mind. But we can make a short story. If you don't have anything, I will make up something quick, like Sonic is running up the stairs holding a plate with a jelly dog on it, but he slips because his sock came off and then he falls on his face. I don't know, is that a comic idea? Should we do that? I'm just gonna do it. No one is going to answer. Okay, this is the three main points of the comic. Now, we have to break it down. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe Tails called him and that's why he's running up. And then the conclusion is that the chili dog landed in Tails' face. So now we have characters interacting, we have something that's happening, like something drastic. We have all the stakes, the chili dog's life. Okay. Now we have this as the story. What I think about next is, okay, Tails is calling from upstairs, so there is a downstairs. I'm guessing downstairs is the kitchen. And I usually do this in my head, like the thinking, but I'm going to write it down just for like visualizing and stuff. So downstairs kitchen. Upstairs, I don't know what's upstairs, but he's just going to go into the hallway and that's where the comic ends. So whatever. What's also important? I think not that much. We have to do some research and find out how the house is supposed to look like, where this is happening, because you can't just, like, you can, but it will be inconsistent if you don't already have planned out how the scene looks like before you draw it. But I will take a super short break and I will be back in a minute. I just have to do something. Alright, I'm back. I just had to drink something because I was talking for 2 hours and I didn't drink anything at that time, and I'm a little dehydrated, I think. But I'm better now, and I have something to drink. Um, yeah. Uh, right. We need to establish the scene. So what I usually do when I want to establish a scene is do a top-down view. Like I'm gonna do it here. Up here is like the hallway, and this is the stairs that Sonic takes. Maybe he even does take stairs that go like this. And here is a wall. And I already know how I had Canon Tails' house to be, so I know what this looks like, but like here is a garage door, and wait, no, it's not that big. This, and the front door is here. I think there was a couch here and a table. There's gonna be a fridge here and kitchen counters. And there's more stuff going on back here, but it's not really important because Sonic is going from here to here. And this is the scene, only this. We don't really need to worry about anything else. Maybe we can worry if there's a window here that there's a tree. So if we look out the window, that it's gonna be there. But yeah, there's fridge, counters, maybe there's a sink here, and the like oven or whatever is here, and there is a microwave here, and he took it out of the microwave because I don't think Sonic cooks. Yeah, so what I do when I have this is when I want to design it in 3D, I have the floor plan, and then I can just use the, wait, I'm gonna do the thing here. It's called Free Transform. And then I can put it down flat. And then I'm gonna make it a little bigger. And now I have the correct perspective for the kitchen. I'm also going to do it again, but this time I'm going to do the side with the stairs. So now I have these templates for the scenes that I want to draw, and now I can just go in and build my cubes up from here. Like this is the fridge, it's really big. And then here our counters. There's a wall here, there's a wall here. It's not the most correctest perspective, but that's not what we are worrying about here. It's just supposed to help us do it in 3D a little easier than if we were trying to do it just off the top of our heads, because then we wouldn't have anything to base the perspective of anything on. Maybe there's cabinets hanging up here. As I said, there's the microwave here, a sink. Yeah, it's a really good method, and I refused to do it for so long because I was like, no, that's cheating. But now I'm smarter, and I'm like, yes, cheating is good. Cheat as much as you can. There is no such thing as cheating in art, because every shortcut is just a smart move, because you're just not wasting time doing stuff that you don't have to do. Like, you can do the hard way, but is it really the fun way? Because you're just struggling and not getting anywhere. And what's the point? So yeah, just make things easy for yourself. Okay, this table's too low. I should just do this. And now it's 3D. Ooh. Okay, and now the couch. Ta-da! So now we can put in the door. And maybe there's another window here, I don't know. And there's more stuff going on here, but I'm not gonna draw it because it's not important. And then there's the stairs here, but I'm not gonna draw them here because it would just cover all the stuff we have here. All right, and now the other side. So we already have established, okay, there's a table here, like this, and there's a couch. And then there's stairs here that go up here, and here is a little plateau. And then it goes up until here. There's a wall here, but yes. And then there's like a door here, maybe, I don't know. But here's also a wall, and for the safety of the people that live there, aka Tails, we're gonna do a railing here. Kids gotta have a railing. There we go. And I don't know, maybe they have pictures on the wall because it's a little bare and boring. Maybe Tails has a big poster here with NASA or something. With NASA. Maybe they have a rug on the ground also, because why not? But yeah, this is the scene where the comic is going to take place. So now I have a reference for whatever angle I want to put the camera in, that I know what's gonna be there. I know the stairs are going this way. I know there's a couch. I know the height of everything. And I know what kind of obstacles can be in the path and whatever. So now if I want to do the comic, I can start with doing thumbnails now. And thumbnails really are thumbnails. Like, it should be small. I'm gonna erase this. So I have these rectangles here, and those are where I'm going to put my little thumbnails. I'm gonna try squeezing everything into one page first. This is attempt A, and attempt B is to put it onto 2 different pages. So I'm gonna do this, so I can have my my notes about what's happening here on the side with like some reference while I work on the thumbnail here. And I will not zoom in because it is supposed to be small and like quite literally like a thumbnail. Very small. Okay, so Tails calls from upstairs. I would say this is a big establishing shot. Like maybe Sonic, like this is the table. Sonic is sitting on the couch. We have the stairs here. He has his food. He's just eating peacefully. But Tails is calling him from upstairs. And I just had an idea to put shelves here, because why not? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." We can do this here. Like, zoom in on his face, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on my way." I'm on my way, coming. And then there's a long panel where he's sprinting up the stairs. Like you can see the stairs here. he's zooming up like this. With his plate and a chili dog and hands. And then it suddenly happens where I love doing this shit. Like here, boom, he hits his toe on a stair, and behind here is just an annoyed Tails with sauce on him. I don't know. And he has his hands up like this because he just fell down. And I already see that it's a little too much going on for just one page. So this is where spacing comes in, like trying to figure out the pace of everything that's happening. So we will want the same establishing shot as before. This is just the stairs, and then the moment where he trips is just down here. It just breaks the flow of everything. And I think this thing where he's zooming can like he's still gonna be a zoomy boy. Okay, this is wrong. Actually, I think it works better if he's doing the zoomies here on this side. And what I'm doing here now is with the panels. This is just how I personally see it. So we have it shows, hey, Sonic is sitting on a couch. There are stairs. Someone is calling him from upstairs, and in the next panel, he's like still distant. He's just he just heard it. He's like, yeah, I'm coming. And then in the next panel, he's going to take his plate in his hands. It's gonna be a little off the table. He has his food on here. He's picking it up. So this is the panel where he's distant. That's where it's attached to the side of the page. And in the next panel, the two pages fit much better. It also helps building up the suspense. Like in the first page, we don't really think that anything bad is going to happen, except for like the little foreshadowing that Sonic is speeding up a lot and maybe too much. So yeah, it was too much. He trips and falls. But this is basically how I go about doing layouts and thumbnails. And I used to be really worried about white space, but like you can see all this is basically white space, but I embrace it because this is a lot of free space for the eyes, while here is a lot going on. And the eyes need the balance of nothing happening in some parts. Like here also, this is all white space. Like I even count some of the background stuff because there's nothing happening there. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this. And now we can work on making the roughs. So I have the two thumbnails for the pages. Gonna make new rectangles for the pages like this. Of course, I'm just doing this very roughly, and I'm not worrying too much about the size of the rectangles. Like they're not the same as you can see, but like whatever. I'm just doing a very quick, fast comic thing. Okay, so what I usually do when I make the comics is actually name the stuff. Like this layer will hold all the panels. So when I make, why is it so small? When I make the panel stuff, it's all on one layer, so I can later change the color if I like. I always do it in black first because it's just the easiest to see. But yeah. Thank you so much, Joyful Songbird. It means a lot to me. Something to keep in mind also is when you have panels that overlap, it's easiest to do a separate layer for the ones underneath, so you can just erase them without having to worry about the panel above being erased also. And I also do all my panels like just freehand. Either I use this rectangle, or I use the polyline tool to make cool rectangles that are not straight. But yeah, I know that there is this panel tool, but I don't really use it because it makes too many folders and layers and masks and whatever, and it just confuses me. And personally, I don't use it. I just do it freehand. But yeah, we have the panels, we have everything set. Gonna rename this again, and now we can do some text stuff. It's just 1 or 2 lines, I think. I hope you also have a great day or night or whatever. Take care, and thank you for being here. Okay, he's calling Sonic, and we're just trying to figure out like this. This is gonna be like, I think this could be a good layout for reading it. Like this, separating it, so you know this is like a super brief moment, this is going super slow, so the speech is separated. I'm just trying to figure out what the characters are supposed to say. I don't really know what Tails is supposed to say here. It's just like, wow, you really did this. Okay. Whoops. At this point, we have this one layer with all the text. So what I will do is I use the speech bubble tool. And I use the square rectangle tool, and I use the roundness of corners, so it's a nice bubble. And I just go around this, and then it's nice bubbles. actually there's okay. And for this, and like he's screaming, so I will do something like this. Oh no. Yeah, and the thing about this is like it's done with vectors. So when you've done a mistake, you can just fix it like this. Now it looks much better. Okay, and here the last thing. He's feeling very shy and stuff, so shy is not the right word, but I don't know. Oh god. English words hard. But like he's feeling sorry, so he's gonna sound very small and sheepish. That's the correct word, I think. So the tail is very fragile and thin. Okay, so now that we have the text and the layouts and everything, we can start making like the better looking sketches. I'm pretty sure it's called pencils in like official lingo for comic makers or something. So we're going to do this. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at 10. So we can zoom in more now because it's not important to have the whole picture in mind, but only the whole panel. So now I can make a more elaborate sketch of this table. There's a carpet down here, and there's a shadow of the table, and then here is the plate, and Sonic is just about to dig into his meal because he just microwaved his hot dog. Like this. And now I'm gonna just draw down the schematics of the stairs. like this. And then this is all wall. And then there's gonna be a poster here. Some pictures, we established this. And then the stairs go up here. And now the stairs. This. I think I did it a little too big, but that's okay. I can just fix it later. Okay. Okay, and now just the railings. And this is definitely too big, but that's okay. Because I think this is too small. So now we can make it bigger. It will fit again. Mit wem redest du, Aisa Breathe? Okay, I can also put this to be more here, so it's actually calling from behind the wall. Okay, so Sonic is sitting there. We have this. Okay, the next thing that happens is Sonic going off course. So he's going to be talking up. And then there's like stairs behind him because that's the stairs. Now he's picking up his plate. His food is still on there. Can add these lines to tell that he's moving, because that's a thing that people do. Because these lines indicate, hey, something is making a movement. It's either rustling or like moving in the direction of the lines or whatever. I don't really know how it works, but it works, so whatever. And then Sonic running up the stairs. Full of confidence of not slipping, because, of course. There we go. And his legs, his okay. So he's going up. Railings, can almost not see the undersides of it because perspective. And then here is the couch where he was just at. And then here can be the door. And here's just the wall. And then I can indicate with some blue stuff that, hey, Sonic is, he just came from down there. He did the zoomies. And now he's stubbing his toe on this. And now he's just in pain, and the plate slipped out of his hand, and the bread is here, and the sausage is over here, and the sauces are all over the place, and maybe there's cucumbers on there, and tomato pieces, and I don't know what all goes in a chili dog. Some beans, onions. But you get the idea. It's just it's flying away. So now he's just realizing what he did and trying to reach out is futile, so he's just letting his hand drop. And I don't know, maybe he's even doing this hand thing towards his brother. I don't know. He gets bunny slippers because I say so. So he was about to open the store to I don't know, show Sonic something. But no, he's just holding everything he has in him together to not yell or anything. He's just, wow, that just happened to me. I was attacked with with chili. And there we go. We have 2 pages. Now, technically, I could also do line art and colors and all that, but I don't have that much time. So I'm just gonna show super fast how I usually do colors. I have like my own foam color palette thing here, and I have stuff named after characters. Like, for example, this is Rouge skin tone, this is Knuckles. No. Where is Knuckles? I have to hover with this, yeah. And, yeah. As you can see, I have different names for all the colors. Amy's overall, Chip, Amy's fur, the cuffs, Amy's shoes, the hammer. Yeah, and this is all Shadow, and this is Sonic. I used to use the official Sonic Sega colors from like the Sonic Channel art, and also from Sonic X, I think, which is this blue for Sonic. But I think it's way too strong for what I'm going for, so I just use it for Metal Sonic now because it looks very unnatural. So now I have this for Sonic, which feels more natural, more down to earth, realistic, whatever. And usually I would use the bucket tool because I have clean lines, but now I'm just gonna quickly color it in just to quickly show how I put down the colors and shading. I will have this named characters because I have a different layer for characters and for the background. So yeah, this is Sonic, so I'm doing all the blue stuff first. Okay, and now his skin tone. Even when personally I think this is all fur and not skin, it's just very obviously skin tone coded. Okay, and now eyes and the gloves. Always so weird to draw Sonic's normal design without Shadow's gloves. I'm so used to it now. He looks good in them. Okay. Now for the chili dog, I will have to just do whatever. I'm gonna do a white plate also because that's the easiest. But the food I will just have to try and see. Like, this is what I mean with trying out the colors and seeing if it works. I will usually spend a good amount of time trying to get the right color that fits. I think this is red color. Oh yeah, this hand. And just overall tails, I forgot. um, okay. And now the sausage, I don't know, like this. And ketchup. And the chili sauce has the same color, I think, just a little darker. Of course, I would do it more clean if I was doing an actual film page, but I'm just trying to show my approach. Okay, some more ketchup. Right. So the next thing would be the eyes and green. Okay. So what I do to do the shadows is I often use this exact purple for the shadows just because I like it. I like how it works with all the colors that I have. It's just so nice. But depending on what color I have in the scene, like right now, it's pretty cool lighting because it's inside the house. So it's okay to use this. But if it was outside, I think I would choose a different color because of the sun and how warm it is and stuff. Okay, so just I try to look at where the light is, like it's on the ceiling, and then I just go very with my feelings instead of really putting much attention to realistic lighting, because I think what's most important is that the feeling is correct. Like, it doesn't really make sense that only the side of the spine, like a little sense it makes, but with most stuff it doesn't really make sense how it's shaded, but I just think it looks nice. And it kind of looks like it makes sense. So I do it. Mostly like stuff that's behind, I usually put shading on to put emphasis on the fact it's behind. Okay, so now tails is also shaded. Oh, I forgot his tails. I knew something looked off about him. But yeah, now he has his tails. Like again, they're in the back, so they get more shading. And then I would usually do backgrounds. Sometimes I also do both at the same time. Like I will put down the colors for everything first, and then I will do shading. Sometimes I even shade and finish the backgrounds before I even put color on the characters. It all depends on how complex the lighting situation is, because if it's just the same thing as last page, I will just copy the colors. Sometimes I copy backgrounds and put them there and call it a day. But if it's a tricky situation with new stuff and I don't know, generally like stuff that's just uncomfortable for me because I'm not used to it. Like this, for example, is like I'm not used to it and I'm uncomfortable with it, so I'm putting it off for the last thing to do because I really don't like interiors. But yet again, I'm challenging myself to do it, so I do it, even if I'm suffering for it. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking I will make the walls out of wood. I just need to find a good balance for a wood tone. Okay, like this is behind him. Oh, actually, I can fill this all in white. So this is a comic page. Okay, so then I can also use this, and it's not gonna go outside. The stairs are gonna be a different kind of wood, maybe a little darker. I don't know. This. And then the upstairs is painted wood and white or something. And these shelves are metal because why not? And then we put a pot here with a little plant. This is a horrible green, like this. And then, because it's easy to have a very limited palette, I'm just gonna do the table in the same color as the pot and the stairs. And this is gonna be green. And the couch is going to be, I don't know, what color does the couch have? Tails, fur. Because who wouldn't want a couch in their house that is the same color as your hair? Okay, so there's the couch in the background. There's the table. And then he's running up the stairs. I don't know what color the floor should be. Maybe the floor is white painted wood boards because it works. Okay. And the couch. Okay. This can all stay white because it's the panels. But yeah, here consistency is the key. Just trying to keep everything in the same color range. I use the mustard color here. Now I'm using the ketchup because why not? Yeah. And I think that's about it. Like, obviously I would do it cleaner if I did the actual comic page, but that's how I do comics. Of course, I would still have to do the posters and shit, and there's more stuff that needs some work, but that's the gist of it. I'm just trying to like finish this up because I've been talking a lot. This stream has been going for 3.5 hours, and I still need to make dinner sometime, so I will stop at this moment, I think. Unless there has been any new questions. Nope. I'm just gonna look through them again so I didn't miss any. But if there are any further questions, just hit me up on my Tumblr. Can send an N and ask. I will always explain if you ask for anything specific. I just hope that most of the complex stuff I was able to like explain here with demonstration and stuff. Yeah. Also, again, looking at script. Like, yeah, here, this is stuff that was cut. No, was it cut out? I don't know anymore. This was cut out. But yeah, you can see I'm trying to find the stuff where it's like really funny, and because sometimes yeah, like this is I'm not being professional in any way, or this montage of them looking in places that will kill me. That was the one page where they're just looking all over the city to find anywhere where the temple could be, and it was killing me because I had to draw so many houses and a top-down view on a city and stuff, but I wanted this to look good, so I challenged myself to do it, even if it looked really bad. And I felt so guilty posting this page. People didn't care. So yeah, this is my takeaway. No one cares that your stuff looks bad because they just see a comic. Yum 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 comic. I think the best thing to keep in mind is that there are comics out there that arguably look not so good, and the artists just don't have the skill of like those people that do it for ages, that do it as their job for a long time, that have established style and shit. Like the most prominent example is just Mob Psycho 100, where you have like even before that One Punch Man, the original comic strips just look horrible. It's just doodles of this dude who does funny stories. And then Mob Psycho also is like, this person just has a really good story to tell, and they're trying their best to draw it. And it doesn't always look good. Often the anatomy or whatever is just weird. And like, you don't read it in the beginning because it's pretty, but when you read it from the beginning to where it's now, it's like you see how much the artist improved, and you see how well he can make layouts and like just general layout, composition, contrast, like all those fundamental things, they are there. And then it doesn't matter if the people look at it wonky, because the story is bomb and the composition slaps. yeah, I think this is a good place to end this. Yeah, here also. This is a good, like, I'm just writing whatever comes to my mind. Yeah, I'm just going to end this here. Thank you all for coming, even if it's right now just 2 people, I think. But you rock. Thank you for being here, even though I was just talking nonsense to myself. I might just do something like this again sometime, but I'm not sure when. But yeah, thank you, and I will end the stream now. Bye!